Good morning, grade 10. Welcome to social science class once again. This week we will continue our lesson 3 of economics, money and credit. We have covered the topic 1 of that lesson, that is money as a medium of exchange in the two sessions. And today we will cover the different topics, the further topics, that is two different credit situations. Next is formal sector credit in India and self-help groups for the poor. Today we will cover all these topics in this lesson, in this video. Now, what is credit? Credit is an arrangement in which one's financial need is satisfied with the money or resource of another with a promise to repay in future. That is credit. Well, now look at this credit, a promise to pay in future, whether it is in cash, goods, or services. Now, role of credit in development. What is the role of credit in development? Credit makes proper use of excess money of the depositors by channelizing it to a profitable investment. In this way, it maximizes the use of country's worth, enables the borrower to invest more than their resources available with them. Next, maximizes the use of resources by providing working capital and helps the lenders to earn interest from their savings. These are the role of credit. Now, the terms of credit. What are the different terms in the credit? Different conditions in which the borrower and the lender agreed before granting or taking a loan. And what it includes? It includes rate of interest. When a borrower takes money from a lender, what are the different terms being set up? First is rate of interest, the mode of repayment, collateral, documentation required, etc. These are the terms. Now, sources of credit. What are the different sources of credit from where a lender can borrow the money, credit money? The individual or organization who grants loan are banks, NBFIs, cooperatives, family members, friends, traders, and money lenders. All these organizations, or the individual, you can say, grant loans. These are the sources. Now, the different type of sources are formal source and informal sources. What comes in the formal sources? Controlled by RBI. The formal sources are purely controlled by RBI, and informal sources not controlled by anyone. In formal sources, reasonable and justified rate of interest is being set up, and in informal sources, mostly high and unjust rate of interests are there. Informal sources granted for productive purpose only. Uh, these organization grant money for the productive purpose, and for in the informal sources it grant money for any purpose. In the formal sources, more documentation required. In informal sources, no or less documentation required. Formal sources, legal proceedings follow to recover loan amount if the borrower failed to repay. So, if any borrower fail to repay the credit money, then legal proceedings can held against them. But in informal resources, lender can take any measure to recover loan if the borrower failed to repay. It is on his own will how he or she or any organization recover its credit money. Formal sources of credit advantages. Why we should go to the formal sources of credit? What are its advantages? First feature and advantage of the formal source of credit is there is a low rate of interest. Second, adopt judicious policy to recovery of loan. Next, grants loans only for productive purpose and chances of failing in debt trap is less. helps the borrowers for effective utilization of loan amount and promote development. It comes in the formal sources. Interest rate is fixed considering the prevailing market and economic condition, and therefore the risk of borrowers are less. So we should go for the formal sources only. Now, what are its limitations? We have discussed the advantages first. Now we will discuss the limitations of the formal sources of credit. Grants only secured loan. So the people without proper collateral cannot borrow. Second, long process and high documentation is required. Less autonomy in utilization of fund. Difficult to get loan to meet small financial needs. It is the drawback, you can say, limitation of the former source of credit. It grants loans only for projects that are productive in their eyes, located at far from the borrowers, particularly in rural areas. These are the limitations. Now, what are the advantages? What are the features of informal sources of credit? Very easy process and instant credit. You can get loan in those 1 or 2 day in this informal sources of credit. Less or no documentation. Very nominal documents are required in this. Full or high level of autonomy in utilization of fund. Free to fix the loan amount and time and mode of repayment. So these are the advantages of the informal sources of credit. Loans are granted to meet all kind of financial needs. Now, what are the limitations of informal sources of credit? First is high rate of interest. The rate of interest is very high in the informal sources of credit. Though conditions for, tough conditions for repayment. Very tough conditions are implied for the repayment. Undue and unnecessary interference in utilization of fund. So there is undue and unnecessary interference is there. Unjust and unethical means of recovery of loan if the borrower fails to repay. Yes, this is very right. This is the greatest drawback of informal sources of credit. Very unjust and unethical means of recovery they adopted. Mostly grants loans for unproductive purposes, which is detrimental to the interest of the borrower as well as the economy. Now, do credit is always beneficial? Important question for this topic. Do credit is always beneficial? Credit sometimes may be a burden for the borrower and may lead to debt trap. Once a borrower credit money, uh, then he comes in the trap, then he trapped in that debt. Credit can be burdened mostly in the following circumstances. If borrowed at a very high rate of interest, if you borrow money at very high rate of interest, it's very impossible to come out of that debt. If borrowed money used for unproductive purpose, if you borrowed money for any unproductive purpose, then it is very impossible for a borrower to repay that money. If invested in a business with high risk of failure, then you can trap in a debt. Delay in repayment of loan increases the burden as the amount grow in cumulative interest. Failure to repay the loan may cause charge on the property of the borrower, which has been kept as security against the loan. Taking fresh loan to repay the previous loan and fall in debt trap. Yes, this is the meaning of debt trap. When we are unable to pay a loan we borrowed earlier, what we do usually, we usually take another loan to repay that loan. So we have what happen in that, we will trap in a debt, recovery from which becomes very difficult. Then recovery of your debt, your credit money become very difficult. So credit is always not beneficial. Status of lending and borrowing in India. How it happens in India? Lending and borrowing. Lending, one who takes the money, and borrowing, one who gives away the money. In India, both formal and informal sources of credit is working simultaneously. Both the functions go simultaneously. Major part of the formal sector lending goes to the large industry sector. Yes. Small borrowers, that is small farmers, labor class and small artisans and businessmen, etc., mostly borrow from informal sector. This is the status of our lending and borrowing. Problems of borrowing from informal sector. Now, what problems you can face if you borrow money from the informal sources or informal sector? First of all, why limitations will come. High rate of interest, tough. Here it is though written is here. It is not though. Tough will come. TOUGH. Tough conditions for repayment. Undue and unnecessary interference in the utilization of fund. We have discussed earlier in the limitations of informal sector. Unjust and unethical means of recovery of loan if the borrower fails to repay. Failure to repay loan amount may lead to loss of property and further deterioration of economic condition. Why small farmers borrow from informal sector? Now, why small farmers do not go for the formal sector? Why they go to the informal sector? First, hesitation to go to the bank. They hesitate to go to the bank. Second is due to illiteracy. Third, lack of awareness. It's obvious when you are illiterate, your awareness will also less. Lack of collateral, borrowing for unproductive purposes, inability to fulfill documentation needed, poor accessibility to banks, easy accessibility to money lenders. So that's why small farmers borrow from informal sector. Is it important to protect the borrower of informal sector? Yes, and just see the points answer. Majority of the borrowers of the informal sector are poor who need financial protection. To protect the borrowers from the exploitation of the speculative money lenders. Informal sector lending and the interest earned on it is not taxed and therefore these are black money. This often leads to conflict between borrower and the lender, which sometimes creates critical law and order situation. Unproductive loans can be used to finance illegal business. Measures to protect the borrowers of informal sector. What measures we can take to protect the borrowers of informal sector? First is increasing the accessibility of formal sector, leading by expanding banking network. Only then they can go to the bank. Easy and liberal documentation. Documentation should be very easy and liberal. Flexible loan arrangements. Reserved and compulsory lending for rural and small scale industry. Awareness campaigning should be there. Cooperative societies. Now, what are these cooperative societies and what happens in this? Organization of people joins for mutual help. In the cooperative society, it is an organization of people joins for mutual help. Development of the members is the main purpose, not earning profit. In which sector? In the cooperative society. Registered under Cooperative Societies Act, minimum 10 members are required to form a cooperative. Now, types of cooperative societies: farmers cooperative society, producers cooperative society, weavers cooperative society, customers cooperative society, cooperative credit society. Basically, all these found in the village area, rural areas. Role of cooperative society in capital formation. Now, what is the role of cooperative society in the formation of capital? Cooperative accumulates its capital. Cooperatives accumulates its capital with the contribution of members. Sometimes they take loans from the banks and FBFIs in the name of cooperative and use the fund either in collective investment or grants loans to the needy members of the society. They charges a low rate of interest as their motive is not to earn profit but the development of economic conditions of its members. Uh, all the members among themselves loan each other. Now, self help groups, we call them SHG. It is a small group of 10 to 20 people belonging from the same locality. The main purpose of such group is to help its members for their economic well-being. They either carry on some collective business or creates a fund to lend to the needy members. Government encourages such groups by arranging bank loan at subsidized rate of interest. In this video we have little spelling mistakes somewhere, so please avoid those mistakes. Origin of self-help group. Concept of SHGs developed in Bangladesh. Grameen Bank of Bangladesh is the biggest success story in reaching the poor to meet their credit needs at reasonable rates through the idea of SHG, self-help group. Most of the borrowers are women and belong to poorest section of the society. The idea is the brainchild of renowned economist Professor Muhammad Yunus, recipient of Nobel Prize for Peace in 1996. This is the idea of self-help group is created by the great economist Professor Muhammad Yunus of Bangladesh, and he received a Nobel Prize for Peace in 1996. Thank you, class. Thanks a lot for watching this. I will send you the notes of this chapter also along with this video. Please note down all those notes in your notebook very carefully and properly. And from the next class, I'll send you the revision work for the forthcoming exam in the month of September. So, all the best. Have a great day.